everybody, and welcome back. It is Angelic Ray coming to you at Angelic Soul 11, and I'm so excited to be doing this live with you all. We are going to be having a lovely goddess with us joining us. So let me just send that invite. Give me just a moment. How do I do this here? Here she goes. There we go. Let's see here. Just gonna send a few people some invites. If they come on, that'll be awesome. Okay. Hello, there is the lovely goddess. So she's about to join us live here. I'm so excited. So it is 12:20 in the Eastern Standard Time on Monday. Hello, goddess. You look so beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I love your hair and everything you got going on. Look at all them
Thank
beautiful
you.
herbs behind you. I just want
Yeah,
to eat them and sit on them and open my legs and all of that to them.
definitely something that we should all do.
Yes.
How are you?
I am doing well. I wanted to say thank you for joining me live and holding space for all of us, with all of
Hmm.
us in this time and space now. We all know that the world could definitely use some of this great knowledge, wisdom that our ancestors, have put in stone for us to
Right.
know. And so, welcome to everyone just tuning in here. We thank you for joining us. And this is the Miss Yoni's theme of
Yes,
Memphis.
yes.
Okay, and so I'm gonna have her do the lovely honors of introducing herself, so that way I don't screw anything up. And
Okay.
she puts it all out there for you all to get to know who this lovely goddess is.
Well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I am Shenna, and I, of course, live in Memphis. A lot of people don't realize that. But I started Yoni's Steam of Memphis, I want to say about I initially started it as a service, and then I went ahead and did a business license for it about a year ago.
Okay.
And my journey as far as yoni steaming started in 2013. But I believe everything, the purpose of yoni steaming, I believe that has been my entire life. Um, I would say every phase that I've ever gone through, I've always did like some type of self-evaluation and not knowing that was actually shadow work that I was doing. Um, that I found out later. And I was like, oh, okay. So when it comes to yoni steaming and playing with herbs, it's something that I've always loved doing, no matter what area it has been, be it numbers, playing with the spices in my food and things like that. I'm always mixing things up, trying to figure out like a better solution for something. So I can't say there was any one particular thing that started my journey. It was probably like a collection of my whole life, you know.
When was the first time you actually maybe heard of Yoni's theme, or maybe didn't hear about it, but just intuitively picked up? Because for me, I didn't know it was an actual thing. I intuitively just picked it up, and then I learned it was a thing, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not crazy. So, like,
Okay, okay.
when was the first time that experience, like, came to you?
Well, it actually happened to me like right after I had my first daughter in 2010. And I was trying to think of something that I can do that I always wanted to start my own business. So I wanted to do something that if I did it, I would do it for free. So it wouldn't feel like work. And when I started thinking of business ideas, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm playing with herbs. I'm doing something I wouldn't mind doing. I get to talk and communicate with people on a daily basis. Because for years, I was always in some type of, like in the corporate world, some type of building where I'm like in by myself or what have you. And although I am an introvert, I'm really more so an extrovert once I'm in my comfort zone, you know. And so I came up with a lot of different business ideas. And then I said, well, I need to start experiencing this for myself first. So then I started going out of town and experiencing the Yoni steaming for myself in 2013. And it was something every time I would go visit one of my sisters out of town, I would make sure that's something that I did. And I was like, why is this not here in Memphis? You know? And so slowly as it became a trend, it's really not a trend when you really get into the purpose of it. But I know that's the reason why people do come see myself and others because it's something trendy to do. And so when I start my conversation with my steamers, um, I do let them know the type of steam that they're getting because nothing's pre-made, as you can see.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what's going on with you, and I create the steam for that particular, component. And so I talk about the herbs. I discuss, why they're getting that type of sting. And outside of that, other reasons why you should look into your diet. You should look and not just the food you eat, the things you listen to, the things that you watch, the conversations that you have, all of those, because it plays a part in everything. And so from there, I, I, I kind of slide into now there's a spiritual aspect of it as well. You would not believe the type of response I get. I'm like, I get the head thrown back and like this because no one wants to face those demons. And but you have to if you're wanting to manifest different things in your life, if you want to clear out stuff that won't hold you back, you have to deal with all of that.
Correct.
And but when it gets a little bit too touchy and tears flow, I kind of back off a little bit, and just start other type of conversations. Still dealing with this, still bringing them back to the reason why you're standing.
It's very interesting how you mentioned like when you have to tell them about the spiritual aspect of it and they get like it's a lot easier to say, oh, this is medicine and this is going to heal us. But um the way that a lot of the programming has been in society is like we think of medicine, we don't even ask ourselves, what is medicine? What is the spirit of medicine? What is the meaning of medicine? What is, and
Mm-hmm.
it has a spirit, it has multiple
Mm-hmm.
spirits in it because of what is
Right.
contribute into creating it as a medicine in itself. And that is the spiritual aspect of it. But because a lot of us, especially in the Western side of society of the world,
Mm-hmm.
we don't really um, allow ourselves to really think that far in. So we just think, oh,
Right.
I have like a yeast infection or a UTI or a BI or, cervical issues, let's just say, or reproductive issues going on, and
Right.
I want to heal this, I want to fix this. And I read somewhere online that this is like the go-to thing,
Right.
and they're just like, okay, come, I'm gonna go, and they don't realize that, yeah, you putting it in your mind that you want to heal is the first step. You taking
Right.
the steps and the actions to get to the place, either calling or actually going and fulfilling your appointment, that's another step. Those are
Right.
very spiritual steps that you took in trusting your higher
Mm-hmm.
self and trusting the journey and saying, okay, this is a holistic route. Let me see what these herbs, what these plants, medicines can do for us. Because people think plant medicine is only like ayahuasca or,
Right.
hape. And plant medicine is drinking tea. Plant
Right.
medicine is yoni steaming. And
Mm-hmm.
I think, I mean, I may be wrong and please correct me if I am, but I feel like men could even do the steaming as well.
I have male clients.
Okay. Now my only thing that I was gonna ask with that, because I don't know for sure, but I had a feeling like they can, to keep that area clean. I feel like it's a spiritual detox to the root chakra, the Muladhara, and the sacral. And so when men do, they have to kind of be a little bit more careful because of the heat temperature. And
Well, the temperature, yes, definitely. The temperature, I always make sure it's between like one 100 and 120, no more than 125. That's like a sweet spot. Some people do like it hotter, and I'm like, we don't want to boil the herbs because that's when some of the toxins can come out.
right.
And so, but it's like a lot of people are so nervous about the steam, and I'm like, it's nothing to be nervous about. The only thing that I guess you could be nervous about is facing your demons. When
Is I'm
you're
sorry,
always
is what?
um, facing your demons.
Oh, facing your demons, right? The fear.
Yeah, right, that fear. Because as soon as I sit down, I go in and start asking questions. And I know a lot of people are just used to being put in a room by themselves, sometimes quiet, sometimes with music. And so I always get that surprise look like, oh, I see, yeah, this part of it too, you know. So, mhm.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, so there's a consultation process prior to actually getting the Yoni steam when going into a place such as the Yoni steam of Memphis. Let's say if, people decided, okay, you know what, I'm in Tennessee, I've heard of this place. How would they go about it? Is it like booking a consultation and then taking the steps from there so that you know more or less how to put the herbs, or how is that process? How do they get to start arranging that? Is yeah to get to the process of a yoni steam.
Right, yes. Everything is online, so they will book online, complete both the intake form and the contraindication form. And on the intake form, there is like two questions on there that I really focus on. I want to make sure you're not allergic to anything. Definitely the COVID questions. Then I want to make sure that I address the emotional side. If you're dealing with anything that you're grief, like any type of grieving, any type of stress and things like that, everyone's dealing with some level of stress. It's like this underlining level of stress that everyone has automatically right now. But I do want to make sure, and then sometimes people don't put anything on there, which is fine. I go in and I just talk, I just talk in general. Then sometimes I'm led to say certain things. I'm not sure why in the middle of a conversation, and then I share it. And I get these surprised looks like, I would say one that stands out right now. I did have one lady, she was like, I actually want to ask for your phone to find out who you've been talking to. And I was like, wow. So you can really get tapped in when this is without any information from them. So I just start talking. And that's always been amazing to me.
That's beautiful. Um, what is like the main, maybe a main question that usually comes to you that it's a common question that you find your clients are always asking that maybe some of us might even have in our minds? And then what is like the feedback you give them to that question?
The most common question, is it going to hurt? Um, will anything come out? Because the yoni steam and the yoni pearls, which is not something that I offer, they get those two mixed up. So they'll see these videos, different places when they see tissue and things like that coming out from that pearl, and I'm like, no, this is a soft steam. It's a soft steam, and it's a soft detox. So you're not going to get anything, that's going to fall out. Your organ's going to stay in you, you know. But it depends on where they are in their cycle. So if they're at the end of their cycle and they come like 1 or 2 days afterwards, that stagnant blood may come out and tissue. The steam will help pull that down. But other than that, no, you
To
can have
finish
sex.
cleaning up.
Right, you can have sex afterwards. I know with the pearls, I've never used them. With the pearls, I know with that detox, since you're leaving those pearls in you, you cannot have sex during that time. So I'm like, as soon as you steam, you can go have sex.
I have done both. I've done the Yoni steam and I've done the pearls, and I am not like, I understand the concept of the pearls and everything. Listen, I do not
Right,
like things unless it is my partner. I don't like things going up in there, and just there's certain
right,
things, and even with like um the yoni eggs and stuff, like for the longest of times I was even just like, so I like, because I'm really big on like the wound healing and holistic
mhm,
lifestyle and everything like that. So I don't do everything that I'm curious about, but I like to do my research first and find out. And yes, with the yoni steam, one thing for me, like I just found like my skin coming out, like I felt like I was glowing more,
right,
and just a lot lighter in my attitude and my thinking and my behaviors, the energy flowing a lot more,
right.
and a lot of moisture down there,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
activity just seems really happy.
Hmm.
It's like the womb space is really grateful and thankful. It's like they celebrate that honor of like
Right,
exchanging that energy with
right.
the herbs. And yeah, you could have sex right after. And if anything, I feel like it makes it
Yes,
even way more better. Yeah.
it is.
Then like with the pearls, there was a sense of like a discomfort after, and I could, if it could feel like cramps and this, and
Mhm.
I haven't personally experienced like the cramps part or anything like that with the yoni steams, but I did have like an emotional purge one time,
Right,
and it was, I remember I would do it every month, and I would get like releases and detoxes, but I think I was just like, okay. And this one month, I was really high on my stress levels and just trying
mhm,
not to be. And I was missing my best friend and everything. And I sat there and it was waterworks, just like, and it was, but it opened up my
yeah,
heart. It opened up my other energetic portals. And
right,
it was a mind, body, spirit detox. So that's when I
right.
was
And
like, when I seen what you do, I said, oh no, we gotta get her. We gotta get her
yeah,
live here.
yeah.
What is the main? Let's say for a person that maybe is not ready to go to a yoni steam professional and maybe wanting to try it at home, is there like tips or tricks that you would recommend for doing it at home? Do you recommend it? Do you not? Um, yeah, we'll start with that.
Well, if you do it at home, I'm on the fence with the bowls that you put in the toilet
Oh yeah, I
because
can't grasp that.
yeah, I'm on the fence with getting those. I have been asked, but it's the concept of being in the restroom where you're releasing and it doesn't seem like it's really a sacred place, you know? And so I haven't gotten those. Don't know if I will. I have to think of something else. If you do it at home, just make sure that the bowl that you're using is covered, depending on the type of material that you're using, so you won't burn your inner thighs. And just make sure you're comfortable in it, and it's like sturdy where it won't get knocked over, and then the warm water spills on you. So I would just be cautious when it comes to setting up that. If you don't have like a stool or something you can sit on, and you're not really inches away from that bowl. Um, of course, I do offer the herbs themselves. I can send those to you. You can order those online. Um, other than that, just make sure you're in a quiet place, you're comfortable, you're ready to release because although every herb has some type of magical power. So speak into the herb, speak into your water, all of that, and make sure you want it to do what you need it to do. Tell it those instructions. So,
I'm definitely gonna have to get a herbal pack from you, because I was like, I usually just intuitively pick what is
mhm.
my spirit telling me and what the plant is telling me, and it has worked out for me in many different ways. But I've always just kind of been curious. See, I'm not in Tennessee. If I was, I would definitely just allow myself the experience to go. And where I definitely, I've seen those the toilet seat ones. And I'm just like, no, I can't do it. For me, it's like, even if you clean your bathroom,
Right.
it doesn't resonate with me. Like, although, yeah, I do my spiritual baths in the bathtub, in the bathroom.
Right. Right.
But it's a little bit different. There's water flowing on top of me, and it's moving and
Right.
it's going. And so for me, definitely listen to her when she says, watch out with the water and burning your thighs. Because listen, I have done a lot of
You've
frog
done that.
poses, and I've done have my fair shares of burning myself. And
Yeah.
you want to make sure the temperature is at a right temperature. And I always find that when you have somebody there as a support system, see me, I guess I'm so used to it, but for someone that they may be new to this journey, or even if you're not new, we all sometimes just need that support system. And
Right.
going to an actual place of service where, she's serving love, she's serving healing,
Mhm.
she's serving wisdom and guidance and protection. Like, she's not just selling you these herbs for you to have a yoni steam wash, in a sense,
Right.
to detox.
Right.
She's serving you a sacred place, a temple. It's like going to church and saying, okay, you know what, this is where I'm releasing my demons, but I get to learn about them, I get to know
Right.
how, and do it in a way that it's not just I have to be fearful. You learn something throughout the experience, and that's why
Right.
she's there as a guide. So thank you for that. That's awesome. What would you say? Do you have like a favorite type? You don't have to give all the ingredients now, but is
Right.
there certain like favorite herb that you just like working with, or that you find that maybe even you personally don't use it too
Mhm.
much, but like clients like it a lot?
Right. I would say ashwagandha is one of my favorites. So right now I'm located on Shelby Drive. I was off of Dexter Lane, which is in probably about 20, 30 minutes away from each other. And so my original location, I had my herbs there. And during once I get you set down and I'm talking to you, I'm thinking of the different herbs that I need to create a tea for you. So one of my main go-to has always been ashwagandha. And Rick's girl knows this. She came in like the day before everything shut down, and I created a tea for her and one for myself. And so she takes mine and I taste hers, and I because of this I write my teas down like the ingredients. But hers tastes like cotton candy. I cannot figure out that combination yet. So, but one day I will. I'm gonna still work with them. And I figure out what I put in that tea because I don't know. But yeah, ashwagandha, that one is a good one. It's antidepressant. It smells good too. But it's for
So
like if
not the actual root, but like the plant. Because I believe I have some, but it looks almost like
yeah,
a rooty. Okay, yeah, that's how mine's look. Okay.
yeah. As you can tell, I like working with that one. And of course roses. We always want a bed of roses.
What are
So a
you were
lot
gonna say the properties of the ashwagandha?
yeah, the main one because the one that for antidepressant, for stress, anxiety, things like that. Is for calming you down. So those are the main ones that I remember. Is way more than that. But I know that's a go-to, especially if I know you're stressed out. I'm gonna definitely put that one in your tea.
I have to do that. I have some too. I actually bought it. I had like fibroids and endometriosis before, and I went through the whole like crystal healing and energy healing and changing to veganism at the time. And I they wanted to do a partial hysterectomy on me, and luckily for me, going trusting my spirit, um, I allowed this path to guide me. And
Hmm.
I did. The doctors was just like, because I was going through hell. Let's just put it long story short, going through hell.
Right.
And that seemed to work. And I remember I heard ashwagandha, but I bought some, but I haven't really used this. So I was like, when you said it, I was like,
Really?
I do have some. So that's good to know. And even like just drinking it as a tea, I think I'm gonna
Mhm.
do that as well. And
Add
for
peppermint. Yeah, add peppermint and pink or red roses to it and cinnamon.
I love all of that. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
all of
that's
that. Thank you. So, another what if a person, let's say, if they have like low estrogen, or I don't know if it's like low estrogen, they have reproductive issues,
hmm
and they wanted to conceive. What would
right.
be some advice? Would you recommend that they do it still monthly as well? Is it a different, like, does it matter if they have reproductive issues, rather like normal hormonal issues or in hormonal imbalances of how often to do a yoni steam, or is it kind of like just the same for everyone to follow a standard in yoni steaming?
Actually, it's not. If you tell me that you're coming in strictly for fertility, you can only come in once a month, and that's between the last day of your cycle, right before you ovulate. Because if there is, a pregnancy, the steam can interrupt that pregnancy. So you can only come once a month, end a cycle before you ovulate. That's it. Outside of that, I know there are some that has PCOS, which is basically diabetes that affect your fertility. And so definitely with those things, because all the herbs are different, all the recipes are different. I do also, address like your diet, what you're putting in your body. I have some books about, eating based off your blood type. It could be some helpful information in that too, if it's
And you
something that
sell
you.
this on your website?
Now the books I don't, but I give that information out during the appointment.
Okay.
Consider looking into that. I drop a lot of seeds. I don't want to give you all the information. I drop a lot of seeds. Look into this and consider that. And, since it is diabetes, whatever is going on with you, whatever you put in your body, you can change that, period. You
Period.
know, that's it. You can change it. So consider that. And if your body is a temple and you're getting your body ready for that baby. So outside of what you're eating, mentally, what are you programming into the DNA of those eggs that are in you? What are you depositing into that? Because whatever stresses you have going on, whatever you're thinking about, because you're coming down on yourself some kind of way mentally. You don't want that programmed in those eggs. You want those happy eggs, and so we can conceive a happy baby. So yeah, those are different. They times within. Oh, yeah, there
Sorry,
you
I
go.
was getting a call come in, so I'm not
Okay,
sure if it was still recording.
okay,
But I was hearing about like making sure you're feeding yourself all that nutritional eggs and feeding for the baby for you to be in that happy space. And
right.
so is the same for like hormonal imbalances, or because I know sometimes like a person may not realize that they have a hormonal imbalance, but they might be like, well, I'm always like stressed out because maybe they have bipolar disorder or something, and
Mhm.
that's really a hormonal imbalance.
Right.
And stuff like that. So they may not really connect the two with why their cycle may be a certain way, or maybe they
hmm
get like a regular cycle. So are they able to do it more than once a month, or is it only once a month that's really recommended? And is it normally around the same cycle period anyway for anyone, or is it a little bit different?
No, it's a little different. Outside of pregnancy, that's the only restriction that I have when it comes to you trying to conceive. Outside of that, before and after your cycle, once a month. The most I'll do would be 3 times within 7 days if you're doing some type of treatment plan. But other than that, follow, listen to your body. If your body feels that it needs some type of cleanse, just make sure, like you're not on your cycle, cannot at all steam during your cycle. If you have an IUD, some have steam with them, of course, without them, but it's really your preference. But I do give you that information that you know that it's recommended that you don't. If you have piercings, If it's metal, remove them. Otherwise, don't steam because that heat could, burn you. Yeah. But other than that, no, weekly, monthly. And especially if you have hard like cramps during your cycle, um, once a month, right before your cycle is like great. You know, if you want to just stay on a once a month type regimen. So it's really solely up to you. I'm like, I'm here
Is it
whenever.
recommended to not do it during like your week of ovulation, or does it not really matter?
If you're not trying to get pregnant, it doesn't matter. But if
Okay.
you are trying to get pregnant, like right before you ovulate,
Yeah,
do
you don't
not,
want to do it.
don't steam after that, because you could have a conception and then the next month you won't have a cycle and then you're pregnant. You cannot come in doing that at all. So we can't chance that. We're trying to get a baby.
Right, right. That's good information. Um, I'm trying to think what else was there. Is there any questions in the comments below? Lots of brainstorming goes on while steaming. So you get a lot of like ideas and stuff like that. For
I do, yeah. As of late, I would say since maybe May of this year, I caught someone recording me instead of taking notes. They were recording what I was saying so they can go home and do homework. But I've been getting that a lot lately. It's like I need a paper and pencil so I can write down what I'm supposed to do. It's like,
maybe
wow,
you're supposed to be writing your own book and selling it on your website.
you never know. You never know.
So I see a
Possibly.
mobile part in your name. Was you traveling before doing this mobile? Do you travel, or are you in one set place, or?
I am in one set place, but mobile is an option if someone wants to do a Yoni steam party at their home, or if they rent like a space at a hotel room or something like that. I do have that option to, yeah. And so the most I can steam right now is 6 women at a time.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
The most I can steam right now is 6 women at the same time.
Okay, okay, that's good. Great
Mhm.
to know. Great to
Yeah.
know. Definitely, I'm gonna holla at you when I'm in Tennessee because I want that experience, and I can just feel your nurturing mother. It's like a natural mother energy to you, while still very sensual and goddess and like
Oh, well,
lively,
thank
and so that's a beautiful
you.
energy to be around and to have that experience. Is there some maybe don'ts or people that you would say other than like is there anyone that maybe isn't or shouldn't yoni steam, or is it
Yeah.
for everyone?
It's not for everyone. If you have cancer, you're not advised to do yoni steaming. If you have any type of open infection, definitely do not steam. Other than that, there are others, but those are the main two, and of course, not on your cycle. Um, those are the main ones that I can think of right now that are really important.
So like any type of cervix cancer or ovarian cancers and stuff, it's not really recommended to
Do
do
not
yoni.
recommend. No.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that. Let me see here. It was another question I wanted to ask you, but that was more.
Now, I'm not sure if I said when it comes to a man steaming, the opening, we just make sure that they either they can wear a jock strap or just make sure they don't go inside the opening because there is a metal bowl there and we don't, I've made a mistake talking to someone setting up for another appointment and I grabbed the bowl with my bare hands. So I'm like, we don't need that skin to metal bowl contact, so
Right.
make sure that doesn't happen.
The skin, that'll burn. That's hot.
Yes, it was the bowl was hot, so my whole hand was red for a minute. So I'm like, why didn't I put my glove on? So, but I was just talking and I was changing stuff out, and I just grabbed the bowl. I was like, oh my gosh. So, but yeah, other than that, for men steaming.
And do you know maybe like a brief history of like yoni steaming? Like I know like the shortest version that you can give us, just so that everybody, of course, do your research and get to it. But
Mhm.
where did like do you know like how yoni steam kind of originated, or what type of history can you share with us in regards to yoni steaming?
Now, one thing that stood out for me when I was doing some research was it wasn't just yoni steaming that was being done. It was like a whole body steam up on the herbs. And I remember seeing that recently. What was the name of it? It was these two guys going to different healing places. There's something on Netflix. Not trying to advertise Netflix, but
That's
but
okay.
yeah, they did like an entire body steam with herbs underneath. And I was like, so that's like yoni steaming just for your whole body. You know, I've never looked to find out when it actually started, which is something I will find out, you know, so I will know that. But yeah, it's just something ancient as far back as before 1900 that I can recall. Um, but it's just the earth, it's the healing and everything. And we always go back to Mother Earth for what we need, you
Mhm.
know. I'm like, it just
I
makes sense to do it.
I first heard about it as a word. Um, Again, my intuition led me to yoni steaming,
Mhm,
and it was definitely just me going through different, like wanting to heal, wanting to just connect with my wound and get acquainted with my body and learn um, of like the reproductive system and the hormonal system and balancing myself out and everything. And again, I instantly liked it and intuitively, like I have this one bowl specifically dedicated to when I'm yoni steaming, and
mhm,
I'll even take like I have my crystal bowl.
mhm,
So I make it a whole ritual. I put my candle and I put a glass of water and I have my
mhm.
singing bowl, and I dress a certain way. A lot of the times maybe
Right,
it's just a robe, and it's like white or light colors, or
right,
very rarely I will use like a dark color. It really depends what's going on and everything. But I prepare the space to put myself in that elevated state of mind, right?
mhm,
That altered state
right,
of mind, right? And um, I was going through this experience and I didn't have a name for it. I didn't know it was a thing. I just did
right,
it. And then maybe like a week or so after, I go to the gym and I will always go to like the sauna. But there was like, oh, they had invited me to the steam room, and they was like, have you ever went to the steam room? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, so I
mhm,
went, and I was having the weirdest experience because for me, I was like, I felt like I could feel all the spirits and everything of everyone that was
right,
in the steam room. And they're looking at me, they can see that I was uncomfortable, and they're like,
right,
are you
right.
okay? And I was like, I'll be okay. I'm just ready to get out of here.
Yeah,
And
I
that
know
was that
where it's
first.
from.
Yeah, that was my first experience in the steam room. It was a public steam room, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I literally just started like chanting and like getting it off of me. I'm just like, and they're like, what's going on? I was like, I could feel everyone's spirits. I could feel their energies, what their
Right.
attachments, their thought forms, just everything. And so the next time they invited me, they said we're gonna try something different. I said okay, and they put eucalyptus in a
Mhm.
rag, and then they put it over the steam. And so when it was coming out, it was coming out with eucalyptus and healing. And
Right.
there was no one else in there but me and the other individual, and it was a completely different other experience.
Mhm.
I felt the cleansingness of the eucalyptus just
Right.
cleaning, and I was like, yes. So like that made the biggest difference. And then I was going through an ayahuasca ceremony one time, and they had us go into this room, and it
Mhm.
was a big giant, like a giant cauldron full of herbs and everything, and
Okay.
it was a body steam. that we
Okay.
were gonna do right before getting into the plant medicine and everything. I just thought that that was so cool, and that's when I learned. They were talking about the steaming, and then they said, "Oh yeah, you know, another alternative to this is Yoni steaming." And I was like, "What is that?" And when they said it was exactly what I was doing, and I was like, "Oh, I
Right.
do that. I just discovered that." And I believe it is like an ancient Kemetic practice that they would do, you
Right.
know, just for
Mm-hmm.
hygiene and for rituals and everything. So
Right.
any final advice or words that you want to leave us with, so that way, you know, definitely leave us with your website. I am going to
Mm-hmm.
put all your information down in the description box below for anyone that wants to follow you, maybe order some herbs or go visit your shop.
Okay.
But just any words of advice or anything that you want to leave us with before we go.
Yes, definitely. When it comes to healing, stay open to any and everything that could help naturally. Nothing that's harmful towards you or anything like that. Listen to your intuition. If it's something that if something within you tells you that you need to do certain things that include herbs, don't look at it like it's something bad. Um, be open-minded. Be open to new experiences. It's nothing to be afraid of, at all. This is your life. And this is like the best time to focus on your self-care, because if you can't take care of yourself, you really cannot take care of anyone else. You're just halfway doing everything. So make sure you fill your cup up, take those spiritual baths. Um, Before spiritual bath, definitely add some type of shower, meditation, where you're washing things off of you before you actually do that spiritual bath. Drink your teas, stay healthy, continue to heal no matter what you do. And don't hold on to anything. It's not worth it.
I love you already. So
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you.
I thank you very much, and thank you to everyone that's tuning in. I am going to also place this on YouTube and Facebook, so I'll send you the link if you ever wanted to share it with anybody, if you feel that they might benefit from watching this video. I know sometimes it's like repeating ourselves over and over. Sometimes these videos can help um, and just make people feel a little bit more comfortable. But I am going to share these videos on those platforms as well, and
Okay.
I'll share the link with you. And for everyone else, just stay tuned and look out for her information in the description below. Please go support her, follow her,
Thank
buy some
you.
of her herbs. You won't regret it, whether it's for a yoni steam or for a tea. I'm sure she'll
Mhm.
steal you the right way. I
Right.
wouldn't have
Definitely.
done this live if I didn't believe in her. And, you know, Black Lives Matter. Let's
Thank
actually move
you.
our money and circulate
Yes.
within the family and circulate where it really truly is going to make an energetic shift to uplift us all as a community. Each one teach one,
Definitely.
each one love each other. So again, starting with self, it works with others as well. I'm going to
Right.
leave you all like that.
Okay.
Satnam, and I thank you.
Thank
Peace.
you. Thank you.